My mom, she told me from when I was born, she said, Mija, you're black and you're Mexican. Don't let no one tell you that you're more than one than you are. Because if you deny being black, you deny your father. If you deny that you're Mexican, you deny me.
Welcome to QUIERO, a show about LatinX who want it all. I'm your host, Priscilla Garcia-Jacquier. Our guest today is X Mayo. She is a performer at Upright Citizens Brigade and is on the house team Top Heavy. X has performed comedy at Second Best and Hell Yes Fest. She's the producer and creator of Who Made the Potato Salad, a Cookout Comedy Show by people of color. I think maybe a virtue of being an immigrant, I love American history. I've been reading a lot about like Amara La Negra, for example, and she's like getting all this feedback about the way she identifies and talks about her race. And do people not know that the slave trade went to South America first?
When they fucking brought us over, they popped us around like fucking, they passed us around like a blunt. They was like, we're gonna drop some of y'all motherfuckers here, we're gonna drop some of y'all motherfuckers here, we're gonna drop some of... That's what they did. Like, so for you not to know that there's Afro-Mexicans, there are women that are my complexion and have my hair and are just from Mexico. Yes. Like, that is their native land. Yes. So the thing is, her coming out is educating black people. Yeah. Her coming out is educating Latinos.
I think that that's true of a lot of people of color, that they walk around having to feel like educators, and I also think that that responsibility isn't fair to have.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
How do you handle that in your life?
I pick and choose. My main issue is with white women, and I think because they have that thing, because I'm a woman and they're a woman, it's like that whole, like, I don't see race, I don't see color, it's them motherfuckers that I can't fuck with.
It doesn't work!
I don't see color, I don't see race. It's like, pero I wish I could live in that world. Yeah. You know, where it's like, I have to see it. And this is the thing, I don't mind seeing it. I love saying that I'm black. And I don't mind seeing that. I love saying that I'm Latina. That's not the issue. The issue is that you have an issue with it. Also, like, because this is the thing. I use comedy to help, to educate. I do like sketches about race, about fucking slavery, about immigration. I do characters. Even in my improv sets, like if there is like somebody being racist, like I'll call it out. If there's a white person doing something, like I use that.
Let's take it back to your beginnings. So you're from Inglewood.
Yes.
What happened to make you get into theater, to make you start your career as a comedian?
Okay, so I started first dancing.
Amazing.
When I was 8. I mean, like, your mom's, like, if you're, like, Latino or if you're black, like, your parents make you get up in the middle of the night and, like, dance for your family.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, get up, do it, like, dale merengue, like, in front of everybody. And I'm just like, oh. But then I really loved it. And so there was the black Cinderella that Lulu Washington did. Yes. And it was at the Shrine Auditorium, so it's a huge venue in LA. And so I was one of the evil stepsisters, and since it was the black one, like we wore like chocolate leotards, and we had like fake afros and stuff like that. So like the first stepsister goes out, does her little dance, and then like the second stepsister goes out and her wig falls off. And we're only 8, so we're young, and like people start like laughing and pointing, and she's like mortified. So I stomp out on stage, and I have like a leotard and like ballet shoes, and I rip my wig off, and I yell at everybody, and I was like, don't be yelling at my sister. And I was like, come on, girl. And I walked off stage. Chills. And so then I was like, I don't know what I did, but this feeling I want all the time.
There was like empowering, lifting, speaking up, like all at the same time. I really like just got chills.
I get that from my mom.
Yeah. So you're half black, half Mexican.
Yes, my mom's from Zacatecas, Mexico, and my dad is black from Los Angeles.
How do they meet?
That's just what it is in LA. My birth father was not in the home, and I was not raised by him, and I don't really know him or have a relationship with him. But I know so much about my culture and my history because of my mother, who is Mexican and is not from this country. So it didn't really hit me until I went to see the movie Selma, and I was with 2 other black girls that are just black. And I was watching the movie, and I was like leaning over. I was like, "Oh, this is the church brought me," and I was like, "Oh, this is Ruby Bridges." I was like, "Oh, this is Little Rock Night." I was like, "Oh, this is," and then this black girl was like, "Oh, I didn't know," and I'm like, "The fuck? How are you just black and you don't know this?" And I literally got so emotional, and I was like, "Wait a minute! Back in 1998, like when I'm coming up, so ain't no internet."
Right.
You know, like, so I'm like, damn, my mom, she went to the library.
Yeah.
She went, like, had open an encyclopedia, like, popped that shit, like, let me learn. And so, like, my mom made sure, like, that we knew about, like Cinco de Mayo was huge. Like, Dia de los Muertos was huge. Like, I had that Mexican influence in the home, but as crazy as it sounds, I had the black influence as well, because my mom, she told me from when I was born, she said, Mija, you're black and you're Mexican. Don't let no one tell you that you're more than one than you are. Because if you deny being black, you deny your father. If you deny that you're Mexican, you deny me. So you can't do that. And also, too, TV. That's why I really, like, TV is so important to me, because my mom would sit me down and just make me watch Living Single. And she knew, even in her, like, immigrant brain, like, lack of, like, schooling or bachelor's degree, she knew the power of media.
What is the inciting incident that got you to New York City?
Okay, so I had quit acting for 3 years. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Why?
Done. I was too fat. I was asked to lose weight for a really good role that I wanted. And then I was too dark, and then I was not dark enough, and then it was like her hair. It was just so many things. I was like, I need to, like, do something with my life. I like left my ex, and I was like, yes, I'm liberated. Left his dumb ass. And I was just like, okay, it's time to do something. So I was, like, doing makeup. I had, like, finished the school, and I was, like, doing makeup and stuff like that. So I looked online, and I Googled, and I was like, who are the best, like, women of color makeup artists that are killing it? And I found this one makeup artist, and she had, like, did Biggie on, like, the Juicy video shoot up until now. She's Taraji P. Henson's, like, makeup artist and stuff like that. She was doing everybody. And so I found her on Instagram, and I saw her website. And I said, if she has a phone number on her website, I'm fucking calling her. I was like, hi, I know you don't know me, but I just want to pick your brain, because I think that you're great and you're amazing and you're a fellow black woman and I'm trying to do this. She was like, first off, you're charging too low. She was like, no. She was like, girl, there are white people who charge $400 just to thread your damn eyebrows. Like, you need to fucking know your worth. Stop it. So she said, I teach a class, and if you can get out here to New York and get a ticket, I'll let you do the class, and then I'll take you with me as, like, one of my students to work, like, one of the fashion shows. I was like, bitch, you didn't say nothing but a word. I used all my money, then I got a one-way ticket to New York, and I emailed her within an hour. I was like, here's my ticket. And she was like, oh, okay.
Yes, you're serious about this.
Absolutely. Never heard from her. Never heard from her. But there was something in my soul that was like, you have to go. You already have a ticket. You have to go. Reached out to some of my resources, some of my actor homies, and I got a chance to do Fashion Week still, like, to work it. And I was a dresser, and I got to do, like, some big shows and stuff like that. So we're all out here in New York together, and I'm just, like, living my best life. I'm just, like, going to all these shows, and I'm eating all this food, and I'm meeting all these people, and I'm just like, oh, my God. But then it was the day before I was supposed to leave. Larry and he was like, X, we have to go see Motown. I was like, babe, I have no more money. Like, I spent all my money. Like, I was just out here, girl, cabinet, not knowing what a fucking, like, I'm like, I don't know how to get on this train. Where's the cab? Like, just blowing all my little money. And then I got a text from my mom. She was like, hi, Mija, I just put $65 in your account. I don't know what for, but I know you're in New York and you need money. And literally, like, the sun came up.
Yes.
No lie, I was just like, this is too much. This is too much. And so we get there, and he's like, shows like his baby picture of like Donald and him. And he's just like, look, I have to see him. And the woman at the ticket counter, demon. I was like, Jesus, we just got out of church. I'm not about to fool with you. And so Larry we stand there and wait. And she was like, 3 tickets just became available, like with an attitude, right? So we go inside and we sit and we're separated. But she didn't know she gave us orchestra seats. Didn't even pay attention. Stupid. And it was already, like, basically sold out. Because, I mean, it's like Motown the Musical in 2013. Yeah. When it was, like, it was the height of it. Yeah. And so then the curtains open and it starts off with, like, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley. And I just start crying. It was in that moment that the Lord told me, like, you were on the wrong side of the stage. So Larry was, like, after the fact, he was like, let's go meet Donald. And I was like, what? We go up the stairs, Priscilla, and it's just like, it was like a slow montage. Like I'm looking at the wigs and the names and the headshots, and it's just like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is it. Finally, we go on the actual stage, and I'm just like, I'm just like losing my mind. I was like repenting in that moment because I really literally for 3 years told God that the vessel that he put this gift in is not, you're wrong. Like this is not supposed to be, I'm not supposed to be performing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also, I'm a person of faith as well. And so the idea that if you're dreaming it, if you're having the thought, it's not actually yours. Like that was put there.
Yeah.
And it's now your job to like carry that out.
Everything from when I was a kid, from that little girl that stomped out on that stage, like at the Shrine Auditorium, like everything just came to the surface and was like, so now you know this is where you need to be. And then my journey started, and it's like been the rest of my life.
So you have this feeling, what's next? What do you do next? Like, what's your next action item?
Where the fuck do I live?
Yep.
So I was bumming on my homie's couch in Copeg, Long Island. And once I felt that time was up, I had no money. My mom is... I think that I work, and you, all these people in here, you probably think you work. We don't do shit. We don't do shit. My mom will fucking go, and she will go to work from 9 to 5, and then she will leave, birth a baby, come back, make sure that I have my leotard, go make another $100 because I need it for my cheer outfit, come home, make dinner, make sure my homework is done, go lead the choir, and then go to bed.
Yeah.
All in a day. So watching her, I'm like, okay, I know how to fucking survive. I know how to get, and I think that comes with having a parent that's an immigrant. We know nothing is owed to us. Like, we can work our asses off and still won't get it, you know? So what I did was I found a spot on Craigslist, and I found a job that Friday night, and I started working at a thrift store. And so I started working there, and I would commute, and then I still wanted to get into camera. So I was starting an internship at RACSC Camera Runner House in Secaucus. So I was making $8 an hour, so I could not afford to pay for New Jersey Transit as well as New York because the thrift store was in Brooklyn. So I would walk to my internship every morning for an hour and a half up and then an hour and a half back, so 3 hours a day.
That period, I know it well, and it's tough. How do you train your thoughts in that moment?
My mindset was that where God guided, he will provide. So God guided me here. There's no way that he will let his child go hungry. So he still provided for me. No, I wasn't eating steak and potatoes, but I wasn't hungry. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes we will ask him for something and he'll provide, but because it's not in the package that we feel it should look like, it's like, oh, he's not. It's like, no, he is. Yeah, I was top ramen it for a long ass time, but I had something in my belly. I already told God, like, no, and I quit for 3 years. So it's like, no, he gave me a second chance. He didn't take away my gift. Like, I'm still funny. I'm still talented. Like, he could have took all that away because he has the power to do that, but he didn't. So I'm here for a purpose and I'm here for a reason. And so that's what kept me going.
How did you find those internships?
I'm reckless.
How so?
When I was working at the thrift store, and that's when I was like, oh, I gotta get the fuck up out of here. Like, it was my first job, and I was making $8 an hour, and I was working with some of the most ratchetest people. And I was like, oh, I'm not. This is when I knew I was like, I am not in Kansas anymore. My homegirl who was downstairs, she comes upstairs. She was like, X, you think I'm gonna get in trouble because I slapped Demetrius on camera?
What?
Mira, skirt. Did you hear what I said? She's not concerned if she slapped somebody. She's concerned if she slapped someone on camera. So after the fact, I was like, you know what, maybe we're going to have a conversation. Because the manager was downstairs when this happened. I was like, the manager going to talk to us about values, about the workplace, about violence in the workplace. No. The manager was like, great work, everybody. So see you guys tomorrow. So I was just like, wow, I don't get paid enough for this shit. This is the fuck. So I was bringing my cards every day. Every fucking person who I met, I had a conversation with. I would figure out a way to make them talk about their job. So I knew where they worked. And I was like, okay, so now I figured that out. So I would bring 25 cards with me every day to the thrift store. And then I figured out a way to make sure that I gave a card out each day.
I think what you're saying is really important because when I graduated, I was also a little reckless. I mean, like, I was emailing. I mean, I didn't give a fuck. I was emailing every executive who I could find. I was, like, emailing actors, writers, producers. Like, I just needed guidance, and I knew that. But what you're highlighting, which is, you know, the other half of the story, is that you have to come prepared. Yeah. You know, even when you reach out to that makeup artist, like, you came prepared. Like, it's not like, I'm going to reach out to you, great, I got through the door, and now take me there. Like, take me there. It's like, no. I want to take me there, but can you teach me? Or can you show me? Or can you connect me to the right person? Like, that's part of the equation as well.
Yeah.
And then you found your way to UCB. Like, how did UCB come into your life?
Okay, so my first year and a half in New York, I did like one play. Because I was so like, I need fucking money. I need money. And I succumbed to the whole like, gotta get it, and just so focused on the money. So I had to like realize like, X, what are you here for? Because you can fucking grind and be in LA where the sun is and it's clean and there are no rats. And my mama's there and I can eat good food every day and like be in a beautiful bed with my big old screen TV. Like, why are you in New York? So I had to like realize that. And so my homie told me like, oh, X, you should do improv. I said, what? Improv? What's that? When anybody tells me about something, I'm like, what's the best one though? Because there's a lot of colleges, but like you want to go to Harvard, you know? And I looked up, I Googled, I was like, best improv school in New York, and then I saw Childish Gambino's face pop up for Upright Citizens Brigade. I was like, that's where I'm going. So I went to a jam, and a jam is where because I was like, I need to go to a free show, I'm broke. So I went to a jam, and a jam is where you put your name either in a bucket or on a piece of paper, and then you go up there and do improv with whoever is up there. And so I went, and it was wide as fuck. And I was like, no, this is And so they called my name, and I was just like, who is that? I was just like, who is that? I was fucking terrified. I was like, oh my God. And so then I got the diversity scholarship. I took my first class, and then I was like, hi.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Another moment of this makes sense.
Yep.
Like, this is exactly the moment.
I am obsessed with like comedy, and I just love like comedic movies and stuff like that. So I was just like, okay, you should be doing comedy, but the only thing I know is stand-up. So I started going to see stand-up, and what fucked me up, I kept going to see really good stand-up. I was like, I can't fucking do this. So when I started doing improv, I was like, thank you. Because this blends comedy, which I love, and theater, which I love. It's like both, finally.
I love what you're saying, because actors do get told all the time, like, there's a mold, you fit that mold, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous because kids pay all this money, and they then graduate thinking that there isn't a place for them.
Yep. Yeah.
And so it's about saying, like, no, there is a place. Y'all just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Or I have to make it, but that's where we stand today.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it.
Yeah, and we don't know about it because we're not white. Yeah. Because when I got there, at my one-on-one class, they're like, yeah, I did short form in college. I was like, what the fuck is short form? I was like, oh, yeah, in high school, or yeah, there was at the YMCA they did. I'm like, oh, no. And it's not an issue of money, because I know black people with money that have never heard of improv, that are from, like, wealthy areas in this country. And the reason why I saw a space for me was that I went to Cypher Sound's show called Take It Personal at DCM. DCM is the Del Close Marathon, so it's nonstop improv and comedy for 72 hours. And I was like, where's a black-ass show? And I was like, okay, Cypher, he's High 97, he's Boricua, so let me go and see his show. And I saw Natasha Rothwell, who is a huge star on Insecure and Writes for Insecure. She was also a writer on SNL. She also has her own character show on Netflix. But when I saw her, she's like full-figured. She's a little darker than me, but her hair is like mine. I was like, wait a minute, like, that's me right there. That's my perspective. That's my comedic timing. And for like the first like 7 months that I did improv, I never would give my voice. Like, I would always play a mom. I was like, hi, Timmy. Make sure you do it. Like, I would be like, hi. I would never play my ma. I would never play none of my tias. I would never bring my experience on stage. And the first time that I did it, this one dude, Matt Chap, who I love, it got such a huge laugh because I was playing a mom, and I was like, let me tell your ass, we're going in this grocery store and don't you ask for shit. We're getting fucking bacon, we're getting tortillas, and we're getting beans. That's it. Don't you ask for shit. And I was like, I'll beat your little ass if you ask for anything. And the fucking crowd went insane. And that was the first time, like, I was like myself, and Matt was like, X, what you did tonight, like, keep doing that. Yes. Do more of that. I still sometimes code switch. If I'm on a stage with new white people that I don't fucking know and we're doing improv, I'm mindful of holding because I'm like, I don't know you and I can't trust you. I don't know what you know or what you're doing, or if you would take, like, me coming in the scene and saying, hey, everybody, I'm Rashida, that's not an unusual thing. So don't take me labeling myself as that name to be like, oh, yeah, so now we're going to make fun of this name. Like, oh, yeah, and Rashida. Like, you know?
I just read something. This is a quote that's been really flying in my mind. It's from Brene Brown in Braving Wilderness, and she starts one of the chapters with trusting someone. Trust is saying that I'm paraphrasing, but essentially I trust my gift with your will.
Yeah.
Like, I can just do that.
That's beautiful.
Right?
That's beautiful.
Right? That's what it is, right?
Put. That's exactly what improv is.
Yeah.
I trust my gift with your will. That's a good Twitter. That's a good, honestly, that's a good Facebook quote. No, yeah. So when I got into UCB, I got an internship like a month after I applied, and I was insane. I sped through the program because when you're on an internship, you get classes for free. So I've never paid for classes because I've always been either on scholarship or the internship.
It's powerful.
And so I interned on Monday nights, and Monday nights was the jam. I was jamming 3 times a week. And taking classes and doing practice groups. And I would stay at my homeboy Ezekiel. He's a fellow Latino. He's Argentinian. He would let me bum on his couch right around the corner from the theater after jams, because jams would end late. They started like 10:30, 11 p.m. They would end like at 1 and 2 a.m. I had to be at work at 6 a.m. at the World Trade Center because I was working for Time Inc. for their catering department, hustling, fucking making $10 an hour, barely like making it. But I was just like, I need to jam. I need to get good. Because there are improv teams, house teams at UCB, which if you are in a house team there, it like means a lot. It's like huge, especially because it's like UCB is the Harvard out of all improv schools. It's like, yes, there's other schools, but like I said, you want to go to Harvard. Like, and you're at UCB because they literally, it says training ground to have a solid ass career. I mean, look at our alumni. It's like proof. Mm-hmm. So I was like crazy for it, and I wasn't even going to audition to be on a team because I was like, they don't make no money. But then my girl Betsy, who I love, she was like, X, you have a goal and a purpose that's bigger than like fame. And I know that you want to help people of color. And at that point, I had already started my PLC Comedy Google group because I said there's no sense of community here at UCB. And I know there's way more black and brown and tan people here. I need to find out who they are. So I became reckless again. Every time I went to an improv show, if I saw a person of color, I was like, come here, what's your name? Yes. Give me your email. So I started the group with 50 people, but now we're at 200 because what I wanted is I said we should be taking responsibility for each other. Why would we wait for somebody white to do it? So with the group, I coordinate workshops for free, and I have UCB house team performers and teachers donate their time. I've had on-camera acting workshops. We just had a casting director workshop with someone from ABC. So anytime I get a connect and I get a win, I make sure I pour it back into my community because no one else is doing that. So I went in with the audition and had an amazing audition. And I literally put it out of my mind, Priscilla. I forgot about it. So when I got a call back, I was like, oh, wait, right, that's the process. They have call. I felt it was so egotistical in my brain to even put the fact that callbacks happen in my brain because I'm like, it's your first audition. You've been in this community for a year, and people have literally auditioned 6 and 7 times. Mm-hmm. Like people continuously audition. So I got a first call back, terrible audition. But I guess my first audition really held up, and also like I worked my ass off, and I always saw shows. Everybody in that panel knew who I was. Because I was always interning. I was always helping. I interned on other nights. So people knew who I was, and they knew that I wasn't even hungry to be on a team. I just wanted to get good at game, what UCB calls game.
That is like, that's the other half. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's about going, I used to work in an agency, mm-hmm. and I made sure that all the fucking agents knew me. I made sure that the assistants knew me. Like, I really wanted to be there at the time. Yeah. If I can show you my hunger, then you can support this community better. Yep. That's all I care about, mm-hmm. you know?
And they knew what I stood for. They knew that I don't fuck with this racist shit. They knew my voice is very clear on that stage. So then I got a third call back, best audition, but you don't know. God knows. And I don't know. And also, too, I didn't want my brain fixated. I thought it was so egotistical to even think that I could be on a team my first time auditioning, and I'm so fresh, like wet behind the ears in this fucking community. And then it was the day that everybody was supposed to find out. And my roommate is also an improviser at the time, who I was living with. And I was supposed to go wash. I couldn't even wash. I was like separating and I was just like, oh, I was like, I don't know. I was like, but what if Shannon calls? What if Shannon? Shannon's the AD of UCB. And I was like, what if she sends it? What if I miss it? Oh my God. Okay. Is my phone charged? What's gonna happen? Okay, we can just chill. I was like, Andrina, let's just make some food. So I would make food and I would run back to my phone. And so then finally I like left my phone alone, and Andrina and I'm like in the room and I'm just like laying like this, like, okay. And everybody is on Facebook, like, have you heard? Has anyone heard? What's going on? What are you doing? And so then Andrina was like, X, I don't know what to say, but like someone just got a congratulations on like Facebook. So have you heard anything? And I was like, what? I was like, no. I was like, Shannon didn't. I was like, no. What if Shannon? And then I look at my email and all it says is congratulations, Lloyd. And I still don't know if I've ever opened that email. But she has a video of me and I just burst into tears. So I called her and told her thank you. And it has been it's been like the best experience in my life. And not just because it's UCB, but the team that I was placed on, that was all God, because I'm on a team with 6 white people and this other Asian woman named Shelly. I have been so blessed to be able to be whatever with them. Like, I've played a slave. I've like made them all be slaves, and we were all slaves, but I was concerned about the weather. And then so one of the white guys on my team, I was Harriet Tubman, and I was like, listen, I'm gonna send us free, but it might rain outside. And they were like, but we're slaves, bro. And I was just like, yes, we're all slaves. We're all slaves, guys. And they were like, yes, slavery's hard, dude. And I was just like, that's what you want. Like, white people, be white. I love when white people are just white. Like, just be good and white. Like, lily fucking white. Don't try to be a caricature of what you think it means to be black. Like, I label them as black.
Or anything else.
Like, don't do that. So, like, my girl Jordan, who's on my team, I was having, like, the talk with her, but it was about the weather as well. And I was like, we're black, and it's going to rain outside. And with your hair, she was like, it will be bad. It would be bad if my hair got wet because I'm black. And I was like, I know. And so it was great. And I told them all, I was like, listen, there's no fucking black people on this team. There's no Latinos on this team. So you're going to have to be one of those at some point. Right. We're on a team for a year together. We're doing a year's worth of shows. Like, that's my experience. And they're like, all right, let's go. So it's been so great to just trust them with anything, to be able to, like, initiate a civil rights march and, like, everyone's going to be on board, but they're going to be white. They're going to play black people, but as themselves, as their grounded reality. And they're not going to make the Civil Rights March the unusual thing. It's a real thing and it's normal. So I worked my ass off like last year, like really, really hard. It's probably the most productive year I've ever had by being on a house team, but also still reckless. Like, I pitch myself places and stuff like that.
What's the goal for you?
The goal... For what? Like, the career-wise, or like...
The goal for you as holistically, like as a human in the world.
The goal is to carry out God's purpose, and by carry out God's purpose and still have a balance of my career and my spiritual. I think that's been the hardest thing recently, is I don't have a balance. I work a lot. I work a lot, and I work really hard, and
but it also sounds like you have married God's will into your purpose.
Yeah, like, absolutely. It, right? But sometimes I don't do enough self-care. Sometimes I don't do it at all. Cool. So that's one thing I struggle with, because I have my baby who made the potato salad, the Cookout Comedy Show, which we premiered last year. We just had our second sold-out show this past weekend. And then I have, Lloyd, and then people are always asking me to do shows and stuff at UCB. And then I have my own, like, 60-second movie reviews that I do. And then, like, working on this, like, comedic play with my homeboy AJ. So it's just, like, there's different projects and stuff that I'm doing that I'm passionate about. And also, like, making sure like the people of color community, like we're equipped with the tools to succeed in this business. Cause it's like there are some of us that are just funny, but you don't know what it means to have a reel. You don't know what it means to have a headshot. You don't know the tools. Yeah. And it's just, these things are not accessible to you. And then if you do find out about them, it's fucking $600. Mm-hmm. You know, so continuously like doing my POC comedy Google group, like that's so important to me.
Fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you tell us when your next show is?
And the next Who Made the Potato Salad is March 31st.
And that's LatinX driven?
No, that was the last one.
Okay, great.
This next one is the Women of Color Takeover. Great. So it's just women of color, and the last 2 shows sold out. Listen, it's going to sell out. You got to get your ticket. And it's great because we have coquito communion, we have food, because it's a cookout comedy show. So for all the white people watching, Who Made the Potato Salad is you got to let them know. Who Made the Potato Salad is a question that is posed at every cookout. Mm-hmm. Who made it? Because you can fuck up potato salad. It seems simple, but it's not. And people be white people love fruit. Oh, white people love some fruit. They love a good green bean casserole. You should see on Thanksgiving how many on my Insta stories, all my little white friends, it's just like, yeah, we're going to make this sweet cream and mushroom green bean casserole. I said, what is up? White people love casserole. They love just give them a good dish. They love them some good canned green beans. You know, oh my God. I'm just like, oh, Jesus. But see, they're white. I love when white people are white. I said that. See, that's their culture. Do your shit. But yeah, so Who Made the Potato Salad? That's why it's that name, because it's a cookout comedy show. We have a DJ. There's we have dancers. We call them the aunties, so they're like our fly girls. And Who Made the Potato Salad is at the Take. That's something I produce independently. Amazing. Yeah, and follow me on Instagram. $80 in a suitcase.
Perfect. Thanks, Mama, so much.
Thank you.